Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's okay. It's a nice warm morning over here where I am. I hope it's a pleasant day where you are, wherever you are. Right, today what I'm going to do is switch it up a little bit. One, you see my ugly face to start with. Don't normally do this, but there you go. But I've had a number of questions during the week with respect to tools, because we've covered tools and what tools to use in the business a number of times, and a number of people have said, is Jungle Scout worth buying? Is there anything else? Well, yeah, there are plenty of other things, but Jungle Scout I'm certainly going to cover today. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in. Now, just to do a preamble, I'm going to be covering the web app and the Chrome extension. And on the web app, they've just had a recent update, as they have on the Chrome extension. And I'm going to be using the Chrome extension Pro. So that's what I'll be covering, because that's what I'm using. And just before we start, I think, is it worth buying? Yes, it is, for sure. We definitely need tools in the business. Any business needs tools. Can you imagine running a mechanic shop and you take your car down there, or you take your car down to a mechanic shop and expect that to be fully serviced? You wouldn't expect the mechanic to ask you to provide the tools because he hasn't got any. You definitely need sort of tools in the business, whatever the business is, and this is no different. So you definitely need tools, and these days there are plenty of tools available. When I first started, there were zero tools apart from spreadsheet and a bit of luck. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to jump into Amazon now, and let's start to search for some products. And along the way, let's use Jungle Scout to help us analyze what we're looking at. So here we go. And if you've got any questions, by the way, just drop them into the chat so I can come around to answering those along the way. All right, hopefully you should be seeing that now. So we've got the infamous echo on the front here, as always. So let's just do a general search. Now, as always, doing your product research, you've got to take some time. You really got to take your time sort of doing this. You're not going to find a product within 5 minutes. You're not going to find a product within an hour. You really need to do some work on this, and you need to spend some time doing it. So I'm gonna pick sort of just a random product, just so we can have a look at the numbers. And I'm going to go into kitchen. I've got a kitchen store. One of the stores I run is a kitchen store. So I'm going to go for the infamous silicone baking mat. Here we go, look. Now, I suggest you don't get into the silicone baking mat unless you're already in it. But I wouldn't actually choose this as a brand new product because it's oversaturated, as we'll see in a minute. So let's scroll down and see what we're looking at. This is the typical silicone baking mat. A lot of these brands have been around for a very long time. I think this particular brand was around when I first started several years back. As you can see now, it's got 2,500 reviews. There's another one here up here. I know it's got 3,000 reviews. So you can see exactly what we're looking at here. All the same, but a little bit different. Okay. Right. So if you're not sure what the numbers are, you got to run Jungle Scout, and it's a Chrome extension. So I'm just going to go up in my Chrome extension bar and find Jungle Scout. Here it is, the little JS. So I'm going to jump in there, have a look. Let that populate out. And let's have a look at some of the features within Chrome extension to start with. So on the main screen for the Chrome extension, we've got a number of things. Let's go across the top to start with. We've got the average monthly sales, and this is the units sold. The average sales rank on the first page. We've got the average selling price of all the products on there on the first page. We've got the average number of reviews spread out over the first page, and this has been around for some time. The opportunity score. This is not a new feature, but it's a very useful feature because what they're doing here is that they're helping us with respect to, is this a good product to get into or not? Now the opportunity score here, if we hover over this, is let me read this out. This is an aggregate score on a scale of 1 to 10 that grades the potential opportunity for sellers, as in you and I. A high score, 9 or a 10, means it could be a great opportunity for sellers. In other words, let's have a look at it a little bit further. A low score of 1 to 2 represents a niche that may have low demand, high competition, high quality listings, or a combination of these items. In other words, steer clear of it. Run away fast. Choose something else. Okay. So on here, we're looking at a score of 4, which is pretty low. And it's stating we've got high demand and high competition, which we know anyway in this particular bracket. So that's what we got here. Let's have a look down the bottom. We can extract the next page. So if we scroll down, we can see here we've got 24 items on the first page. We can actually go in and extract page 2 without going to page 2. Okay. What have we got over here? We've got Cloudflare. Not Cloudflare. A word cloud. That's what I mean to say. So on this word cloud, this is very useful because it's giving us some of the keywords that are being used throughout the listings on page 1. And all of the big, bold ones are the more predominant ones. Baking being the top one here. Cookie being a very good one there as well. And you can see down the bottom here, top keywords, we've got matte, baking, silicone, non-stick. Okay. So in the title, you're going to have non-stick, silicone, baking mat for sure, because they are the top keywords. Okay, so if you're not actually crafting your title with those particular keywords, you're missing something. You're missing out because they are the predominant keywords that are being used. All of the other keywords, they should be used throughout, or certainly download these and use those within your listing. And you can actually download that. You can sort of click on this little button at the top here, and you can download this word cloud and save that for later and add that as part of your keyword list. Okay, so that's that. Over here we've got Google Trends. So let's have a look at Google Trends, and that'll open up in a separate window and take you into Google Trends itself. And then we can see here that this is, we already know this is a oversaturated sort of market, but you can actually see now that it's a downward trend. This is a trend that's actually dying off. Sort of early 17, it was coming up. Let's go back to sort of the past 5 years, see what that is. I always look at the past 5 years to see what that was. Or maybe it's not a downward trend. Maybe it's a seasonal trend. I don't know. But yeah, it's a bit spiky, isn't it? So December looks like a perfect Christmas gift for most people, but the rest of the year is reasonable, I guess. So we can see here it's not a steady trend, at least anyway. So that gives us that information. You can actually download this, so you can share on Facebook. You can download the screenshot. Or you can download the whole thing as a CSV file, which I normally do because I like to manipulate the numbers in a spreadsheet and add some of my own information on there. Okay, so we can actually do that. Some of the other useful features on here. So if we look at the sales, okay, if I click on one of these, let's go back up to the top. Let's click the second one down. If I click on this number here, that's going to give us historical monthly sales information, so we can see over a period of time what this particular product's been selling like. Okay, so back here in sort of 2015, told you this has been around for a while. They were selling around just under 2,000 a month. Then it dropped down a little bit, but now they're sort of back in the business. 3,500 units a month. Pretty good, I would say. Okay, so that's historical data there. Let's have a look at this. Amazon Basics. Yeah, they haven't been in business as long, but you can see they're crushing it simply because they're Amazon Basics. Okay, undercutting most people. And they've got the power of their own advertising as well. Okay, so that's that. We look at the historical sales rank as well. So we know that we were looking at this in 2015, and this sort of correlates with the current sales or the sales information. Okay, so we can see here that they've been up and down, up and down, up and down a little bit, and we know that they're selling a lot at the moment. Consequently, their BSR is sub 500 here, and we're now 1,500 there. That's pretty good. Okay, so again, really useful information to have a look at. Again, we can have a look at this historical pricing. All right, without going into the actual product itself. Now, when I say going into the actual product itself, I use a tool called Keeper, which is Keepa. That's a free Chrome extension as well, but it's not a Chrome extension. That sort of sits inside of the Amazon listing itself, and it gives you this information. So what Jungle Scout are doing is giving all that information without actually going into the individual listing itself, which is really useful. So we can see here that we've had some, blimey, this is $56 here. One would assume that they're running out of stock and they were doing the pricing change to stop people buying it, so they could just maintain stock. They're doing a sale here of 1 cent. Another sale here, $5.18, but in general, it's around the $14, $15. Started off around 19 a few years back. Okay, so we can actually see the data. We can click on any of these. Okay, so we've got this one. I know this one's been around a while as well. And see what the pricing history is like for that. It's a little bit more swingy. It's a good word, isn't it? Swingy. Okay, so we can see that they're sort of jumping around between the $25 and sub $10, depending on whether they're doing sales or trying to maintain stock, I guess. Okay. One of the other features you can have a look at over here is the profit calculator. Okay, so that tells us exactly what we got over here. Now, one would assume that we're going to do some sort of research, and let's do a little bit of research on this as well. So if this was a product that we were interested in, now, you know, caveat, inverted commas, this is not a product that we're going to be looking at. But if it was, this would be a very useful tool because that would allow us to actually look at the numbers and evaluate whether this is a product worth getting into or not. Okay, so we can see here we've got some key details and key data here. We've got the product weight, we've got the dimensions, we've got the sort of the product tier, which is a standard large. We've got the product price, we've got the FBA fees. Okay, and over here we've got our net. Now, product cost, we need to go and find that, and that will give us the rest of the information. So let's quickly go and have a look at Alibaba. And we were looking for silicone baking mats. Come on. Well, there or thereabouts. Right, so just for the sake of it, we're going to whiz down here and just have a look at the average price. we're not worried about the MOQ at the moment because we just want to get a feel for the sort of profitability of this particular product. So we can see here that we're on, and call that $2. This is $2. There's a couple of dollars. Look at that, look, Amazon Basics. Very good. Couple of dollars there. This is probably a little bit less. This is less. I reckon by the time we actually negotiate and talk to some of these guys, we can probably get it for about $1. Plus a little bit of shipping. I'm going to call it 125. Okay. Right. So let's go back over here and put in there product cost 1.25. Okay. Then we can hit calculate profit. So based upon this, it's a profit of $7.65 if we're selling it for $14 or $13.99. That's taking into account all of the FBA fees, referral fees, variable closing fee is $0. Total FBA fees is $5.09. Our net is $8.90. Okay, if the product cost is $125, our ROI percentage is 612%. Now you can see why a lot of people get into this business of selling silicone baking mats. All right, let's call it $2. All right, just for the sake of showing the numbers. Okay, we're still at 296% ROI. Okay, with a profit of $6.65. Now, clearly, you need to take out and allow some advertising costs on top of that. But even so, this number is pretty good. So what this allows you to do is quickly analyze where you are. And you can actually play around with this. So if we want to get in there and be really competitive and sell that for $7.99, and it's costing us $2.25, what are we at? We'll drop right down to $1.55. Okay, at 69%. Now, the 69% is still a very good sort of number, still a very good percentage. But the $1.55 profit is not so appealing. I like to sort of get a little bit higher than that, simply because that allows us to reinvest quickly into scaling and sort of growing the business. Okay, so these are some of the sort of cool, useful features right on the page here, right on the analysis page. That's without actually looking at any of the core data itself. That's looking at the individual units. Now, what else we got? Well, clearly we've got some information at the top left-hand side here. We've got three bars, and what we can do here is look at our columns. Okay, so we can actually identify and have a look at which columns we're looking at. Okay, so we can include sponsored products or omit sponsored products. I normally leave them out, and you can go through this and actually look at each of these categories, turn them on and off at your will. So if we go back, and we can see here we've got some filters as well, so we can basically filter out and only have a look at the data that we're interested in. Okay, so if we're looking at sort of a low price, I'm only interested in products at $8 or the highest at $20. Filter results, and that's going to only show me that information. Okay, lowest reviews 50, highest reviews 100. Okay, filter results, and you can see here, oh, look out, there's no one with less than 100. All right, let's put 1,000 in there. Okay, and that should give us some results, but again, not many, because everybody's got a lot of results. Okay, so you can see all of this information in here. Reset all. So that's good. Wait, hold on. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, you can actually sort of look at all of the data here and filter out what you actually want to look at. Now, I just normally leave mine as it is because I want to analyze it myself with respect to the complete picture of all of this. So what else we got? Well, over on the left-hand side here, we've got a little plus button. This is only by the way, this is only all of this information is only available in the Pro extension, which I'm using here, which I mentioned to start with. So we've got that. And this little plus button over here allows us to add that to the product tracker. Now, the product tracker is part of the Jungle Scout web app, okay, which I'm going to be looking at next. Okay, so if we're interested in this, say our one down here that we've been looking at, add that. I can just add that, and that'll automatically, and it will tell me your product has been added to the web tracker. View your products here. Okay, so if you've actually signed up for the web app as well, which I suggest you do, is you can actually view that directly there by clicking here. Okay, so we'll go and have a look at that in a minute. So this is the Chrome extension. What the Chrome extension allows you to do is just analyze the data in front of you. Okay, so the data in front of us is this information here. Okay, the sales results. All right. So what I normally do is just download this information and start to manipulate it within a spreadsheet. Now, the things I'm looking for is the top 4. Make sure they're not dominating the whole space. Looking at the number of sales, making sure there's enough sales per month. Have a look at the total number of reviews and the average reviews. Well, we already know the average reviews because it tells us on here, but I like to sort of have that in a spreadsheet as well. The other thing that I like on the Chrome extension, it gives us an LQS. Now, the LQS is a listing quality score. Okay, now this is Jungle Scout's algorithm taking into account the quality or likelihood to convert of the product listing. Okay, 10 represents a high quality, 1 represents junk listing. Their words, not mine. Okay, so if we're seeing a low score down here, that just means that we've got the opportunity to improve our listing. Okay, so let's have a look at a number 5. Let's have a look at number 3. Okay, so this particular product here. So if you want to go and have a look at the product, you just click on the title, and that's going to open that up in a separate window. Okay. Now the images they're using all the images. The title's a bit short. The bullet points are very short, so we could do a lot better job on both the title, on both the bullet points. Let's come and have a look down at the description. And the description is just sort of one big block of text, which is sort of garbage as well, because we know that we can do a better job on that, don't we, guys? Because we're going to be using simple HTML to format it. Okay, now I'm not even going to read this. I never read block text in any description. So we know that there's, if we're going to get into this, we know that we can improve this with respect to the listing quality. So let's go and have a look at a better one. They've given this one a 7. They've given this one a 7. So we're going to look at the one we've been looking at. Okay, so this is a listing quality score of 7. So we can see here the title has been pretty much optimized. It's a lot better title. Let's have a look at the bullet points. The bullet points are so much better. I would personally make these capitalized. The first sort of few words within the bullet points, they've got they're not doing that. So that's one thing I would improve on. But you can see here the difference between that and that as a bullet point is a big difference. So let's come down and have a look at the description. And you can see here, well done, guys. They've actually used some simple HTML to stand out. And this is a lot better and easier to read. Don't you agree? Okay. So they've got spaces, they've got bold, they've got bullet points. That they're using the simple HTML as it is intended and as Amazon allows. They don't allow anything else apart from this. Okay. So why not use it? And it's not difficult to do. Just go into Word HTML.net, or the thing is Word to HTML.net, and you can actually edit on the fly, then just copy the text and put it in the back end. Very, very simple. Okay, which I've covered before. So we can see here that the listing quality score is very useful to have a look at anyway. Okay, so when we go down here, we can see there is an opportunity on a lot of these listings to actually improve. Okay, so that's the Chrome extension and some of the features within the Chrome extension itself. So I'm going to go now, and I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to go over to the web app. Okay, so product tracker, product database. Okay, now we all know, and we've been through this a number of different times, this is a product opportunity finding tool. Okay, so we can come in here and go home. Where are we? Home and kitchen. Okay, standard, oversize. We don't want oversize, so we're just going to click standard. We're not worried about FBA, FBM, Amazon. We want to go price, a minimum price 70. I'm just going to fill this in quickly. I'm not going to go through the details. Maximum price of 50. Minimum reviews 10. Maximum reviews 100. Okay, minimum sales 300 a month. Let's go and have a look at that. See what we got, and that's going to bring us up a ton of information. And we can see here we've got 1,200 items. It's actually given us to actually have a look at. Now we could actually filter down on that, and clearly we would. But you can see here we've got a ton of information that we can actually have a look at to actually analyze. Okay, and this is where I would start as opposed to anywhere else. I wouldn't actually necessarily go over here unless you're considering a specific product that you've actually thought of. If you come up with drawing up a blank and think, oh, I really don't know, I can't think of anything, this is the place to start. Okay, because that's going to come up with all of this information here that you can actually start to look at. I think I've had a look at this in the past. It's one pair of walnut wood quilt hang-ups. Okay, hold your quilt up on the wall. One would assume it's going to be a nice looking quilt as opposed to the quilt you put on your bed. Let's go and have a look at this. Hopefully it's got a picture. No, it hasn't. So what they've done is they've taken some stock standard images from the supplier. They're not actually using a lifestyle. I would use a lifestyle image on this to show you the product in use. But you can see how it looks. I would assume it's going to be a tapestry or a really nice sort of piece of artwork on a quilt that somebody's made, and you're going to hang it on the wall as an art piece, as opposed to you're not going to hang up your quilt that's on your bed. Okay, so gently graphs all quilts, weavings, or rugs for any wall display. So this is basically what we've got here. But let's go back to the web app. So we can see here that we've got a number of different sort of items as well. We can actually expand this out. So we're looking at the prices. We're looking at the weight, the reviews as well. It gives us the reviews, it goes the rank. Number of sellers, we've got 5 sellers selling this. So a number of people are buying the same thing and trying to sell it in the buy box. Listing quality score. Now this time it's out of 100 as opposed to out of the 10. So this is right on the margin of 5 because we could see that it's not a very good listing. The title's very short. The bullet points are extremely short. Let's go and have a look at the description. Again, simple block text. It's Even the images are not that good. So that's why it's a 51. We got the number of sales per month is 489 sales a month, guys. Okay, bringing in $9,000 a month. Is this worth looking at? Yeah, it probably is. Okay, so what do? You go and do some research on this, and you start to have a look at quilt hang-ups, weaving, wall mounts, whatever the case may be. Okay, so that's the product database. Once you find a product, you can actually add that to the product tracker, and that doesn't just add one product to the product tracker. Like I say, do your homework on this and have a look at the complete category. So if we're over here in silicone baking mats, for example, I would actually add at least 5 from this first page, at least 5. Now, I wouldn't just add the top 5. I would add some of the high price, some of the low price, some further down here. So I would probably add between 5 and 10 of these, just so I've got a better understanding of the actual niche itself as opposed to a single product. Okay, because there's no point in tracking one particular product, because we may be tracking this guy at the top here that's actually crushing it, which is giving us a false result with respect to the comfort zone. Okay, what we need to be understanding is what this niche is all about. Okay, so that's why I would add at least between 5 and 10, at least 5 particular products to the tracker. Right, so let's come over to the product tracker. We can see here that we've got a number of different sort of products we're already tracking. Now, one of the sort of the cool features up here is we can add a category that we're actually looking at. So I'm just going to go, because I've got a number of different products in one particular niche that I'm looking at the moment. So I'm going to go foot products. Okay, so that's my category over here. And clearly I've got nothing in there because I've just created it. So if I go over into the uncategorized, in other words, my complete listing, which is I've just dumped everything in, I can then come down and have a look at the foot peels. Okay, so this is a product that I've been tracking for a while. And if I just open this up, we can actually see that I've got 4 different products I've been tracking now for some time. I deleted a couple. So if we come down, open this up, it's going to give us some information on this particular product. Okay. We can see here, we've got the basic standard information down the bottom here, which is a sort of a repeat at the top. But we've got the estimated fees, the net. We've got $10. We've got the seller. We've got the number of reviews. We've got the rating, dimensions, and weight. But on this graph here, we can see that this is the average sales. And we can actually look back at the last 7 days. Let's look back at the last 60 days to see what this is like. So if we hover over any of these points on the graph, it's going to give us some more information. So if we look at here, we've got sort of the inventory levels, which is 598 here. We've got a number of units sold that particular day. It's just 1. We've got the rank, and we've got the buy box price for that particular day. And you can see here that we've got all of that information as we move through. Now, obviously, selling a few down here. The last couple of weeks, 35 units sold in a day. Up here is going okay as well. 37 units sold a day. Nothing over here last couple of days. And you can see that the inventory is that they've obviously done a restock around here. We've got more than 999. Okay, so they've brought in some more information. They're running down of inventory here, so they've obviously got some more product on order, and it's landed into Amazon around the 14th of May. Maybe they've got a couple of thousand in, who knows. Okay, but that's allowing them to maintain their position within that ranking. So that's combined. We can also actually switch over just to sales only. All right, so we're just looking at the sales only. Now this sort of trend line here just shows us the information with respect to sort of the rank. of where we are, and you can see here that despite them not selling anything for a couple of days, they're still doing very well. From a ranking point of view, is 3,767, and you can see that here they're actually selling a reasonable amount per day. So that's the information you can get there, so which is pretty cool. So we can close that down again. You can add notes. So you can add notes on any of these. So if you just want to add your own particular notes, you can do. So if you've been talking to a particular supplier, you can talk to the supplier, and you can add notes from the conversation there. You can view the product on Amazon, so which is useful. So what I want to do now is basically I can either click here, I can move that, I can scroll up. No, I can't. It's not allowing me to scroll up. Okay, so basically if I do click that, I'm going to click that. I'm going to click these boxes. Okay, and then move, and I'm going to go to move to foot products. Now you can see now that I've got my foot products all in one space. So I don't need to go over here into the uncategorized section and look for them individually. Okay, because I just know they're in one particular category that I'm looking at. So which is cool. Now let's go and have a look at that. Sorry, I just want to go into the niche hunter. The niche hunter is you need sort of an upper membership level. I've never used the niche hunter, so I steer clear of that. So, but what I want to bring your attention to is the keyword scout. Now, this is a new feature. Okay, this is a brand new feature within Jungle Scout, added for the last couple of weeks, I guess. Now, on each of these tabs, they've got watch a simple tutorial. They've put a quick tutorial together and walk you through each of these items. Not necessarily in full detail, but it allows you to actually get a grasp of understanding exactly what each of these is. So let's go and have a look at what this gives us. So let's go back to our silicone baking mat. Do a quick search there. Okay, but before we do a search, what we're going to do is the category. So I'm going to select all categories. Okay, and I'm going to go into the United States marketplace. Okay, which I'm interested in. So that's now brought up keywords that are being used within listings and covers all categories. Okay, so we can see here that we've got a particular keyword here, silicone baking mats. That's an exact match here, silicone baking mat. That's what we're after. And then the rest of the results have basically been trawling through and bringing out all the rest of the information for us. Okay, so let's go and have a look at where we are here. So the exact match search volume is 27,732. That means 27,732 people have been searching for that exact term, silicone baking mat, per month within Amazon, or probably the last month with Amazon. Now, broad match search volume is 45. So that's a combination of silicone baking mat. So it could be a non-stick silicone baking mat, so a red silicone baking mat, or red mat, the silicone for baking. Okay, that's a broad match. So 45,321 searches for that per month in the last month. Okay, another useful feature here is the recommended giveaway. I'm just going to get a sip of water, guys. Hold on. So we've got the recommended daily giveaway. So if we want to sort of maintain the top 3 position, or get into the top 3 positions on page 1, we need to be doing giveaways of 30 a day in order to get there. And this is over a period of 7 to 14 days. You need to be doing this. So let's not just give 30 away one day. That's not going to work. You need to maintain that for between 7 and 14 days. Okay, so you need to be giving away an awful lot of products in order to get ranked on position 1 or 2 or 3. So the top 3, that's what they're recommending, is 30 a day for around 7 to 14 days. And, once you're there, you've got to maintain yourself. So you've got to make sure that you're actually doing some good advertising and bringing people into your listing. And people convert. So therefore, you need that really good listing quality. Okay, we know that the dominant category for this is kitchen and dining. Okay, and suggested HSA, headline search ad. Okay, headline search ad. Let's go and have a look at the headline search ad. Okay, let's come back up the top here. Now, we were looking for, this is a headline search ad, Silpat. Okay, well, it's normally at the top. Okay, so it's basically the headline search ad, and it's normally one particular product and their brand, which this is. Okay, so it's this top section here. So if you're in there and somebody clicks on that, it's going to basically cost you $2.70 per click. Okay, per click, not per purchase, per click. So every time somebody clicks on that, it's going to cost you $2.70. So you need to have a look at these numbers with respect to, 1, is it in your budget? And 2, make sure you get a return on investment. But that's going to give you a very good idea of how much that's going to cost you. So let's go and have a look down at some of the rest of the information. So we've got all of the other keywords that we could actually use. Okay, so we've got we've got breaking this down into exact match search volume, broad match search volume. And you can see here, if we, if we hover over any of these, it's going to give us some basic information with respect to what that means. Okay, so sorting by exact match search volume, descending. All right, so we've got the highest first, then moving down to the lowest. The number of Amazon searches over the past month that exactly match the keyword, excluding plurals and misspellings. Okay, if we go over here, the number of Amazon searches over the past month that broadly match the keywords, including the phrase, plurals, misspellings, and synonyms. Okay, so which is really useful to have. So we're looking down here. We've got baking sheet, we've got cookie sheet, we've got baking pans, baking, silicon muffin, etc., etc. So we've got that brand that we've just been looking at and we're following. Silicone mat, baking sheets, baking mats, macaroon silicon mat. So you can see all of this information here. So I'm just going to click on baking sheets. Okay, and that's going to give us the information or search results for baking sheets. So we can see that. Let's just pull that directly up here into the search bar. And it's now returning all of baking sheets. Now you can see clearly that baking sheets includes not just silicone ones. We're including now some aluminium ones in our search results as well. Okay, so that's not exactly what we're after, but we've got one sponsored product. How many Amazon Basics? Let's see what else we've got in here with respect to silicone ones. There we go. We've got one there that we just had a look at. So we've got one on the first page, maybe 2, because we've got the Amazon product there itself. Okay, so basically what this allows us to do is have a look at the keywords and use this keyword information in our listing. Now, what I would normally do and what I have been doing is exporting this as a CSV. Okay, come on. So over here on the right-hand side, the top right-hand side, we download this and actually start to use this information in our master spreadsheet. Now, in our master spreadsheet for the keywords, what we're going to be doing is highlighting the ones that we need to be using in our listing. Now, don't forget, we use different tools for listing optimization, and that's generally the AZ Optimizer. I use. So we actually put all of our keywords into the AZ Optimizer when we're doing our listing optimization. And that's going to allow us to actually track which keywords we're using in our listing. But this is really, really good information. So as we come down here, I'm going to switch over to page 5 of these results. And let's have a look at some of these sort of listings down here. So slip mat, macaroon baking cup. Okay, large silicon mat. Okay, so if we're going to be using some of this, what does this information mean? So let's choose another one. Dough board. No. So let's have a look at dough board, for example. I know it's not the right product, but you can see dough board is only getting 295 searches, exact searches a month. It's only getting 480 searches a month. Okay. And you would only need to give away 2 a day in order to rank for this particular keyword. Okay. Now, what that means is if we look at dough board, if we're giving away 2 a month, 2 a day, sorry, we're going to expect that we can actually get into one of these top positions over here. Okay. Now, it just so happens that this looks like a non-slip pastry mat. It's not exactly what we're looking at on our silicon baking mat. But what these guys are doing is actually using dough board as one of their key words, and they're actually ranking in position 1 for that particular keyword itself. Now, if we were going to give away 2 a day for a couple of weeks, we could expect to be in one of these positions. Okay. And sometimes you see it when you're looking at a listing, you look at a page of listing, you think, okay, the number 1 guy's got 315, the number 2 guy's got 103, the number 3 guy's 240. How come this guy here is selling less, but he's ahead of this guy here? This guy only got he's got 214 reviews. Well, it could be the case that he's actually doing exactly what we're talking about, giving away products in order to get position on ranking. Okay, so that's exactly what we're after there. So let's have a look, see where these are actually. So let's pull up Jungle Scout. Let that populate out. So when you got tools, you can actually start to manipulate and actually understand some of the data so much easier without tools. Okay, you need tools in the business. And this is one clear, obvious way that where tools will help you. Right, so let's go in and have a look at a non-stick silicon pastry mat. This is number 1 guide. All of these are sponsored ads. I've got sponsored ads turned off, as we saw earlier. So this is number 1. So look at his rank is 2,000. The number 2 guy, don't forget, we know that he's got less reviews, i.e. he's selling less or sold less. His rank is 94,000. The number 3 guy is 26. So you can see here, it doesn't make sense from a pure ranking point of view. And again, this guy here has got 3,000, or this particular seller's got 3,000. So let's look at that listing. He's only got 52 reviews, but he's number 4 in the list. So how does that work? Well, again, we're looking at a number of different giveaways, different promos, a lot more activity in the last particular month, because this is just a snapshot in time. And this is why you need to track products over a period of time. Now, I normally track products for at least 4 weeks in the web app, such that I've got a steady set of results that I can actually look at. And like I say, I'm not just tracking one product, I'm tracking a number of different products over that period of time. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So, and again, we've got our, or with dough board, we've got our suggested headline search ad, be it at 10 cents, which makes a lot more sense. Okay, so you can see now that this new feature, the Keyword Scout, is pretty powerful with respect to understanding what you need to do and obviously some of this keyword information here. So, which is great. Now, the keywords here, total results, 2,100. Okay. 2,113, sorry. 2,000 keywords. And it's not just keywords. They give us an information with respect to what that keyword means for our business. Okay. This is really powerful. This is a really smart move on Jungle Scout. And Greg and his team have actually pulled this together and put this in there. Very, very useful. So I just want to go back to thinking about tools and tools in the business, and is Jungle Scout worth buying? Undoubtedly, yes. Undoubtedly, yes. Jungle Scout is one of the most popular tools out there with respect to running an Amazon business. Is it worth buying? Absolutely. This is highly recommended by myself, the team, and everybody within the group. We're suggesting that goes out and purchases Jungle Scout. Now, whether you actually purchase the Jungle Scout Pro and the web app, that's what I recommend. And if you want to go and do that, that's great. We do have an affiliate. I'm going to be open on this. We've got an affiliate link, but if anybody purchases through our link, then obviously we'll spend time with you, making sure that you understand it and you can use it appropriately. Okay, so the link will be below in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, or you can actually get it on our website, which is gorillazonline.com. That's Gorillaz with a Z, and that's gorillazonline.com. You can go there and you can find the Jungle Scout link, and you can go and purchase that. So that's basically all I've got, and that's a little bit sort of short. Sometimes I run over, sometimes I run less. I can't see any questions. No, I know it's a long weekend, so I appreciate those people that have been watching and sticking around with us. Appreciate that. If you're watching this later on, I hope you find this of value. Is it recommended? Yes, it is highly recommended. I would suggest you stop messing around and go out and purchase Jungle Scout right now, because it certainly will help you in your business. It will understand the numbers. It will help you sort of find products along the way, and it'll help you actually understand the data once you start to look at it, as we can see over. I closed it down, didn't I? Within the Chrome extension itself. Okay, so yep, go and buy it, guys. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Have a great selling. If you're still looking for products, keep on searching. If you are selling, don't forget to do what you can to maximize those sales. All right, guys, that's all I've got. You take care. I should be talking to you later. Thanks. Bye.